by the way.
Me?
Oh yeah, you.
Whoa.
She mentioned you sitting at her bar. So it's
Mendeecees. I think Kirk was going down like the Titanic, slowly. He hit that iceberg. He looked to the left and Mendeecees. And Mendeecees was like, boy, ain't got nothing to do with that.
I didn't know who she was because somebody had to say, that's Kirk, baby mother, and I never went back. We never had 2 words.
Can I ask you one question? Where the hell is your ring at?
Don't do Kirk.
Your ring? I lost it. Yo, things just got real messy in the world of love and hip-hop, and the internet is absolutely losing its mind. Mendeecees just went off on Kirk Frost, and let's just say, it was not pretty. We're talking straight-up explosive drama caught on camera, and now the whole world is watching. So, here's the deal. Kendra's dirty little secret is out, and it ain't just rumors anymore. No, this time, the receipts are legit. The tea is scalding hot, and Kirk? He's been left humiliated in front of everybody. And guess who decided to air it all out for the world to see? None other than Mendeecees himself. Bro, he did not hold back. We're talking shouting matches, threats, and a jaw-dropping confrontation that had everybody gasping for air. But here's the real question. Why did Mendeecees put Kirk on blast like this? What did he find out that made him completely snap? And most importantly, what does this mean for Kirk and Kendra's already shaky marriage? Oh, best believe, we've got all the details, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every single word. So grab your popcorn, cause this tea is about to get real messy.
Children to be walking around here with a sibling.
That's not their sibling.
Thinking it's their cousin.
It is. That's what we're gonna tell them. What are you talking about?
Y'all, the drama that just went down between Ems and Kirk Frost is something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. If you thought the past scandals in love and hip-hop were wild, just wait till you hear about this. This isn't just some minor argument. This is an all-out war, and the internet is losing its mind over it. At the center of it all, Kendra's dirty little secret. Now, let's be real. Kirk Frost is no stranger to relationship drama. He's been called out, exposed, and dragged through the mud for his past mistakes. But this time, he's the one getting played. And y'all, he had no idea it was coming. The betrayal is deep. The lies run even deeper. And Ems? He just lit the match that's about to burn everything down. See, for weeks, people had been whispering about Kirk and Kendra. Something just wasn't adding up. Kirk was doing his usual thing, playing the perfect husband on Instagram, posting those cute couple pics like everything was good. But behind the scenes, Kendra was moving funny. She was always on her phone, getting defensive when Kirk asked where she was going. Even some of her closest friends were starting to side-eye her. And here's the thing, Ems noticed it too. Now, let's keep it real. Mendeecees has had his fair share of drama with Yandy, but one thing about him? He can spot a lie from a mile away. And something about Kendra's behavior just wasn't sitting right with him. Then the whispers started. At first, it was just little things, rumors, speculation, people throwing around theories. But then Ems got hit with some real information. And let's just say he didn't keep it to himself. Because what he found out, it wasn't just a little slip-up. It wasn't just some flirty messages or a harmless conversation. No. Kendra was playing a dangerous game. And the worst part? She wasn't messing around with some random guy. She was messing around with someone Kirk knew. Someone Kirk trusted. It all came to a head one night at a private industry party in Atlanta. Everyone was there, big names, VIP guests, cameras rolling, expensive drinks flowing. Kirk walked in feeling good, completely unaware that, in just a few minutes, his whole world was about to come crashing down. Ems was already there, posted up in the corner, arms crossed, looking mad as hell. And the second he saw Kirk, everything changed. The whole room felt the tension. Kirk noticed it too. He could feel the heat. He walked over, trying to play it cool. Yo, what's good, bro? But Mendeecees? He wasn't smiling. He wasn't dapping him up. He wasn't even blinking. And then, you really out here looking stupid, huh? The whole room went silent. Kirk let out a little laugh, trying to brush it off. Man, what are you even talking about? Ems just stared at him. Then he pulled out his phone. You tell me. Kirk's face changed immediately. Because Ems wasn't just talking. He had receipts. He pressed play on his phone, and suddenly, Kendra's voice filled the room. I miss you. I wish I could be with you right now. Kirk don't even be paying attention to me like you do. Y'all. The way Kirk's face dropped. 1 second he was standing tall. The next he looked like he'd seen a ghost. He reached for the phone, but Ems pulled it back.
Nah, man.
Keep that same energy. By now, a few people had gathered around. The murmurs had started. And Kirk? He was trying to keep his cool, but you could see the storm brewing inside him. Mendeecees finally handed over his phone. Go ahead. Scroll through it. Read it for yourself. Kirk hesitated. But when he finally took the phone, it was like his whole body locked up. Because what he was looking at, text messages, pictures, timestamps. Kendra had been talking reckless. And the worst part? Ems wasn't even done. Oh, and by the way, that dude she's been creeping with? He's close. Closer to you than you think. That's when Kirk's whole demeanor changed. His face went from shock to anger to straight-up fury. And that's when the real chaos started. Kirk could feel his blood boiling, his jaw tightening as he read the texts over and over again. The reality was sinking in, but his mind was rejecting it. He had spent years defending Kendra, standing by her side when people doubted her loyalty. And now, she had made a fool out of him. And Scrappy, his brother, his day one, the man he had stood beside through thick and thin, had done this? The betrayal stung worse than anything Kirk had ever felt. But the worst part? The whole damn world knew before he did. Ems leaned back, arms crossed, watching Kirk unravel. He had done his part, delivered the truth raw and unfiltered. But deep down, he knew what was coming. He knew Kirk. And there was no way Kirk was going to let this slide. Kirk's hands shook as he gripped his phone, his mind racing. He pulled up Scrappy's number, his thumb hovering over the call button. He knew if he called right now, it wasn't going to be a conversation. It was going to be war. But then ring. His phone buzzed in his hand. It was Kendra. For a moment, he just stared at the screen, his heartbeat pounding in his ears. What the hell could she possibly say to him right now? But he needed to hear it. He needed to hear her say it herself. He swiped to answer.
Kendra.
Tell me right now this ain't true. Tell me right now that this is some fake. A deep sigh on the other end. Kirk, I was going to tell you. I swear. His heart dropped. She didn't even deny it. Didn't even try to lie. The silence between them was deafening. Kendra's voice was softer now, like she was trying to calm him down. Baby, it wasn't like that. You don't understand. Kirk cut her off. Oh, I understand just fine. You was creeping with Scrappy behind my back. That's what the I understand. And now the whole damn world knows before I do. Kendra exhaled, her voice shaking. Kirk, listen to me. I was going to click. He hung up. He didn't want to hear her excuses. He didn't want to hear another word come out of her mouth. Right now, there was only one person he needed to see.
Scrappy.
Kirk's chest rose and fell with deep, ragged breaths as he pulled up Scrappy's address. His fingers clenched around the steering wheel. His foot pressed harder on the gas than it should. Ems shook his head as he watched Kirk speed off.
Damn.
This about to be some real mess. The streets were buzzing. Every single blog, gossip site, and news outlet had picked up the story. And Kirk? He was about to settle this face to face. Ain't no way this just happened. Somebody call Mona Scott Young because this reality TV drama just turned into a full-blown crime scene. Mendeecees and Kirk Frost got into it heavy, and this ain't no scripted reunion fight. This is real-life jail time drama. How did we go from cheating scandals and messy relationships to a straight-up melee? Was it over Yandy? Kendra? Or did somebody finally have enough of Kirk's never-ending nonsense? Eyewitnesses say fists were thrown, furniture went flying, and security couldn't even break it up. Now both Mendeecees and Kirk are looking at some serious legal trouble. Did Yandy bail Mendeecees out? Is Rashida finally done with Kirk for good? And where was young Jock in all this mess? Oh, don't even trip. We got all the details, all the leaked footage, and you won't believe what really went down. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's get into this insanity. Mendeecees and Kirk Frost, two names already carrying enough baggage to fill an entire season of love and hip-hop. But this might just be the wildest mess they've ever been caught up in. You mean to tell me these two grown men, fathers, and so-called businessmen just got themselves arrested over a brawl that looked like it belonged in a WWE ring? Oh, and let's not forget the instigators, because trust me, Yandy, Kendra, and young Jock were somewhere nearby stirring the pot like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Before we get into the details of this chaotic takedown, let's be clear, Mendeecees and Kirk have never been strangers to drama. From cheating scandals to financial scams, these two stay in controversy. But this time, it ain't just gossip. The streets are talking, the internet is shaking, and even a police had to step in and say, enough is enough. So, what exactly went down that got them in handcuffs, mugshots, and possibly facing some serious charges? Oh, trust me, you're going to want to grab some popcorn because this is straight-up reality TV gone off the rails. It all started at an exclusive Atlanta nightclub, because of course it did. Kirk Frost, who has spent the last decade proving he is the definition of messy, was spotted getting a little too cozy with a woman who was most definitely not his wife, Rashida. Now, you would think after all these years of embarrassment, he'd move a little smarter, but no. Kirk was in full reckless mode, laughing, drinking, and whispering sweet nothings into this mystery woman's ear like he didn't have a whole marriage on the line. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was in the same club, and let's just say he was already in a mood. Word on the street is that he had been arguing with Yandy all day about something that went down on the Love and Hip Hop set. Apparently, Yandy was still holding on to some resentment about that whole faking a wedding situation from years ago. You remember that, right? When Mendeecees had Yandy thinking they were officially married, only for it to come out later that the paperwork was never filed. Yeah, she ain't forget, and she definitely wasn't about to let him forget either. So there's Mendeecees, already irritated, sitting in VIP trying to enjoy his night, when who does he spot across the room? Kirk. And not just Kirk, but Kirk looking real comfortable with another woman. Now, normally, this wouldn't be Mendeecees' business, but remember, these reality stars live for mess. Plus, Yandy and Rashida are tight, and the last thing Mendeecees needed was for Yandy to find out he saw Kirk creeping and didn't say anything. So what does Mendeecees do? He decides to confront Kirk right then and there, because why not add a little gasoline to the fire? Witnesses say Mendeecees walked straight up to Kirk's section and called him out. No warning, no build-up, just straight to the drama. And Kirk? Oh, he did what he always does, tried to laugh it off. He hit Mendeecees with a classic, "Come on man, you know how it is," like that was supposed to smooth everything over. But Mendeecees wasn't having it. He started raising his voice, talking about how Rashida doesn't deserve this, how Kirk is out here embarrassing his family again, and how he should be ashamed of himself. And Kirk, instead of shutting it down, he claps back with, "Man, worry about your own marriage before you start preaching to me." Now, if you know Mendeecees, you know that was not the right thing to say. Because, let's be honest, Mendeecees is no saint, but the last thing he wants is for someone to throw his relationship issues back in his face. And that's exactly what Kirk did. And baby, that's when all hell broke loose. Mendeecees lunged at Kirk. Drinks went flying, security tried to jump in, but at that point it was on. And before anybody could blink, young Jock, yes, young Jock, was somehow in the mix, trying to pull them apart. Now, why was Jock even there? That's a mystery we may never solve. But one thing's for sure, he did not make things better. Instead of de-escalating the situation, Jock started running his mouth, talking about, "Man, both of y'all need to chill. This ain't the first time Kirk been out here wildin'." And just like that, Mendeecees turned his attention to Jock. Now, the club was in full chaos mode. People were screaming, tables were flipping, and security was struggling to keep things under control. And then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any crazier, Kendra walked in. Kendra, who was supposed to be at home minding her business, walked straight into the middle of the madness. And the look on her face? Priceless. Because not only did she see her husband in the middle of a brawl, but she also saw the woman Kirk had been with. And she snapped. When I tell you the drama jumped from a 10 to a 100 real quick, I am not exaggerating. Kendra lost it. She started yelling, pointing fingers, and before security could even get things under control, the police had arrived. And that, my friends, is how Mendeecees and Kirk Frost ended up in handcuffs, looking like two fools who just couldn't keep their egos, or their hands, to themselves. As the flashing red and blue lights filled the nightclub, the energy in the room shifted from chaotic to straight-up terrifying. People were scrambling, phones were out recording every second, and the security team looked exhausted from trying, and failing, to control the situation. And right in the middle of it all, Mendeecees and Kirk Frost, still heated, still talking trash, but now they had real problems on their hands. The Atlanta PD wasn't playing around. The second those officers stepped into the club, they took one look at the scene. Tables flipped, drinks spilled, people screaming, and immediately started making arrests. And guess who they went for first? That's right, Mendeecees and Kirk. Now, let's be real. The moment Mendeecees saw those cops walking toward him, you know his heart dropped. This man has spent years dealing with legal drama, he's done time, been on parole. The last thing he needed was to be back in handcuffs. But Kirk, Oh, Kirk still thought he could talk his way out of it. Witnesses say Kirk was trying to play it cool, talking to the officers like, "Come on, man, this ain't nothing, just a little misunderstanding." But the police weren't buying it, especially since multiple people had already told them that Kirk and Mendeecees were the ones who started the fight. Meanwhile, young Jock, who had somehow managed to stay out of handcuffs so far, was still running his mouth. He was in the corner talking about, "Man, this is wild. Y'all really locking them up over a little club drama? Like, sir, you literally fueled the fire. Maybe sit this one out." Just when it seemed like Kirk and Mendeecees were the only ones going down, things took an even more shocking turn. Because remember Kendra? Oh, baby, Kendra was not letting this night end without some extra mess. While the cops were handling Kirk and Mendeecees, Kendra was still going off, yelling about the woman Kirk was with. And then, she tried to swing on her. Yes, you heard that right. Kendra, the classy, composed attorney, lost every ounce of professionalism and went straight into love and hip-hop mode. She lunged at the woman, and security had to hold her back. At that point, the cops were done. One officer shouted, "That's it. She's coming with us too." And that's how Kendra found herself in the back of a police car, right next to her husband. Meanwhile, Yandy had been sitting back, watching this whole thing unfold like it was a movie premiere. But you know she wasn't about to let Mendeecees go to jail without making a scene. The second they started putting cuffs on him, Yandy ran over screaming, "Oh hell no. Y'all not taking my husband over this nonsense." But the cops were not in the mood. One of them turned to her and said, "Ma'am,